This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
The Thrillbilly Silas Mason here today, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the Thrillbilly Silas Mason.
And we got James J over here, but it ain't Dylan. You got Silas Mason, and he does all the thrilling, baby. You can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at ThrillbillyTCB. That stands for taking care of business, folks. And the Thrillbilly's business is hurting people. And I'm going to be hurting people all over this country, all over the globe, daddy. Because coming up here soon, I'll be in Chicago for 312 NWA live in Chicago. And guess where I'm going after that, baby? Guess. I just want you to take a wild guess.
Mexico?
Wrong. We're going down there, mate. We're going to Australia. The world is indeed a vampire tour. I'll be down there for about 2 weeks, and then after that, I'll be in AAW back in Chicago. They can't get enough of me. If there's only once they got Phil Brooks, if that guy wants to step in there with a Thrillbilly, I'll whoop his ass too. Make his UFC career look like it was a walk in the park.
All right, so Silas Mason taking care of business, no?
That's what I'm all about, baby.
And if we want to sport some Silas merchandise, where can we find that as well?
That is a fantastic question, James. You're a hell of an interviewer, man. You go to angrylemonade.net. That is lemonade. Refreshing. .net. You can get all my different kinds of shirts, bibs, babs, baubles, and various sundries. And man, all that money, it don't go to some dude in his basement, man. It goes straight to Big Daddy Thrill himself. And I appreciate y'all for supporting me during these trying times with egg prices as high as they are.
Absolutely, and you don't even have to go looking for those links. All of the links to his social media and merchandise will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox.
That's called professionalism, baby. You're the best.
Yeah, we try our best to be the most professional wrestling interviewers.
There you go.
All right, well, let's get into it. You work for NWA. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company and William Patrick Corgan?
Well, I'd like to say, if I went so far as to say me and old Billy, see, we're on a first name basis. If I said we were best friends, that'd be an understatement. Billy, he looks to me for a lot of advice on music and stuff like that. He looks to me a lot of advice for how to be more entertaining. I just try to help the guy out, best I can. But no, seriously though, man, I've been working for the NWA since about June of 2022. And hell, man, I think it's one of those relationships where one hand washes the other. The NWA gives me the platform and the ability and the outreach to get us to as many people as I can. And in turn, I help them out by having the absolute greatest professional wrestler on the planet, the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, be associated with such a fine brand and such a fine legacy.
Oh, without a doubt. And you've been, absolutely killing it in NWA currently. One thing that I've, found really interesting was your rivalry with Kratos. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I believe you took the first victory, he took the second, and then the last one got a little bit violent, so to speak.
Well, that's the business we're in. This is a tough business. It's a violent business. And that's the thing with Kratos, man. Like, I really had a lot of respect for the guy, and I say the word had. I respect him as a competitor, but as a man, you don't assault a female unprovoked when she's trying, and I wouldn't want her to get in the ring anyway. She's a classy lady. She does the business behind the scenes, and she supports me while I'm out there. But she don't need to be getting twixt those ropes. And that's the thing. I'm cool with violence, man. If it's agreed upon, if we're going in there, we're going to. Like I said, it's a tough business. We're going in there to hurt people. My goal is to be hurting people. But when you go and you bring someone that ain't supposed to be a competitor in there, like Kratos did, man, that made my blood boil. And it made his blood run pretty cold that night down there in Tampa Bay, Florida, when it was spilling out of his head. And, that made that choke a little harder to cinch in. I had all that blood coming off. You had to really squeeze down tight, and he felt the power of the largest arms in Blount County, Tennessee, wrapped around his neck. And the referee had to pull me off of his carcass.
I mean, yeah, the match ended in a referee stoppage.
TKO.
TKO, yeah. Do you believe this is the last you've heard of Kratos, or do you think he's gonna come back for more?
Well, he did. I have no idea how it happened. He's one of those guys. He runs with those dudes in the back. To politic his way. He got himself a title shot against Sion. Now I've been putting my name out there. I've been calling out Sion every single time I get engaged in social media, or anytime that goof's name gets brought up. I say, put me in the ring against Sion for that national title. And now we got another one of those political schemers, old EC3. He's trying to weasel and worm his way in. Man, I'm in the top 10 of the rankings. I believe the only loss I have in the NWA I have avenged, and the only time that Sion has ever tried to step foot in the ring with me, he was scared the whole time running away. Now, I don't know if that's the kind of man the National Wrestling Alliance wants as its champion. I don't know if that's the kind of man this nation wants as its national heavyweight champion. So I'll just say this. Once the Thrillbilly's time comes, and once I step foot in that ring across from Sion, and I take that national title, if Kratos wants some again, I'll go 4 rounds with him.
I mean, I believe you're in the rankings for the 10 pounds of gold as well. So is the national championship the goal right now, and to get to the 10 pounds, or if the 10 pounds comes sooner, what are your thoughts on that?
Listen, if I said I was in this business to be anything other than the world's heavyweight champion, I shouldn't be in this business. My goal, number one, first and foremost, is to become the world's heavyweight champion. But you know what would look really cool? You know what would look really good? The 6'6", damn near 300-pound Thrillbilly Silas Mason, double champ, national title on one arm, world's heavyweight title on the other. And, I'll take a double champion schedule too. I ain't like these guys that they'll sit on a belt, they'll stay at home, and they'll wait for the challengers to come to them. I'll find me a challenger. I don't care what title it's for. I don't care what title I have. But the goal is to have the world's title. Now, whichever one comes first, I'll take it. If I get the world's title, you'd be crazy to think I ain't going after every other belt, because every other title I have is more money that's coming out of William Patrick Corgan's pocket and going into mine.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of the world,
And I like the guy, but I want to have a lot of his money. You know what I'm saying? I know how much he's making on these tours, and I want a big chunk of that.
hey, I think he'd gladly give it to you, considering all the great things you're doing.
Absolutely.
That being said, we speaking of the world heavyweight champion, you were on Team Tyrus in the championship series. What did that kind of mean to you that you were on the champion's radar?
Well, I should be on the champions radar. If you look at it, right now I'm still within my rookie year of the NWA. I ain't no rookie by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong, but I am in my first year. So he's immediately seeing me coming up. And he's like, man, this guy has every intangible you could ever ask for. This guy has the physical ability and the dominant size that everyone, wants in a professional wrestler. And so I don't know maybe he's scouting me out. Maybe he's trying to see little things that he can try and take advantage of if we do step across the ring from each other at NWA 75 or whenever we step across the ring from each other. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's not a world champion because he's an idiot. That would be a smart thing to do. But another thing is that he knows we did not win the Champion Series, and it eats me alive. I won every match I was in for the Champion Series. I got 2 pins in the Champion Series final. Only man to do that. Now, he also wanted to win the Champion Series. So not only is he trying to scout me out, but he also knows that the Thrillbilly's a man. Again, baby, TCB, I can take care of business.
And one title that you went for in your first year in NWA was the MLW Championship against Davey Richards. At that point in your career, what did it mean to you to wrestle, obviously a well-established guy like Davey for a championship and be trusted by the NWA to fill that role and deliver?
Well, I'd hate to say that he gave me that opportunity. I seized the opportunity when it was given to me. No one else wanted to fight the guy. I agreed to fight him. A man who's coming in, a lot of people say he was coming into enemy territory. Well, he lives in St. Louis. He's got a training school in St. Louis. I was walking into enemy territory. It may have said NWA on the poster, but that crowd was a Davey Richards crowd. And I know for a fact it was an honor. It was an honor for him to step in there with me. I could see the goosebumps rising on his arm. I could feel the shiver going up his spine when he knew he was staring across the ring from the biggest man who ever lived. And he was standing across that ring from greatness. And now, if he hadn't, again, I came within a hair of beating him. There's some chicanery with Pollo at the end of it. I'm sure all y'all have seen it. Now, with that distraction, I ain't going to give any excuses. The better man won that night. If you put us across the ring again, I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a different story. And if they want when I have the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, when I have the National Championship, whichever title, I'd gladly give him the same opportunity.
All right. Well, you're going for championships right now. You got gold in your eyes. One thing you do have, though, is a participation trophy for a battle royal you competed in. Can you?
What?
You have a participation trophy for a battle royal you competed in for Control Your Narrative.
I was sitting there scratching. I was like, when the hell was I in a battle royal for NWA? Oh, yeah. Well, technically, everybody got one.
Apparently, AJ didn't get one. He lost his.
Well, I took AJ's.
Oh.
I wanted two.
So, okay,
I'm a double participation trophy. I'm a double participation trophy champion.
So you're the most participated
Participated the most.
When we had AJ, he was like, somebody stole my participation trophy. Like, who does that?
Well, hey, I had to pawn it for gas money.
Oh, wow.
No. It was mowing season then. I got a big yard, buddy.
Ah, I see. All right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your relationship with Pollo Del Mar?
Well, I'll say that again.
Can you tell us about your relationship with Pollo Del Mar?
You got it right on the second one. Pollo. There you go. No one knows how to pronounce. I was like, man, y'all not taking a single lick of Spanish or listen to anybody talk. They keep calling her Polo like she's or polio or something like that. Pollo, they say behind every great man is a great woman. And in terms of the Thrillbilly and Miss Del Mar, That could not be a more accurate description. Now, Pollo, I don't know if y'all know this, she was a professionally published journalist before she was even 18. She has a degree in graphic design, and she knows how to gussy herself all up. And she does all these different podcasts, interviews, articles. The woman can do it all. And when you got a man that can do it all, you put them together and ain't nobody can stop us. And that's the whole thing we've done in the NWA. You know, enough said. You go on, I'll do the Twitter thing too much. Boy, that tells me I need to do the Twitter thing more. The two most talked about people that night, on Twitter at least, were Matt Cardona, and a close second was Pollo Del Mar, along with the Thrillbilly. Now, I'm not on there too much, so they weren't talking about me a whole lot, but I'll put Pollo over right now. Pollo's been instrumental in my rise to success and my rise to relevancy, especially in terms of Twitter. I'll handle the bit. I'll take care of the business in the ring. You handle it outside the ring. So that's the relationship me and Pollo have, and let's say it's a flowering, blooming relationship.
For sure. And when researching you and seeing everything that it definitely, aesthetically, is eye catching. And, on paper, maybe it shouldn't work, but seeing you two together, it 100% works. Where do you attribute, that chemistry between you and Del Mar?
Pollo and I are two people who will do anything, and I mean anything, to get something over to make something work. I don't care what I have to do. You put me in there and you want me to whip my tallywhacker out, I'll do it. You want me to get in there and lick another man's blood off my hands, I'll do it. And Pollo has that exact same mindset. And that's the thing, when they put us together at first, they didn't think. They didn't think about that. They thought about that visual and how eye-catching it was. And it is an eye-catching visual, I get it. But look at how gorgeous of a woman she is, and look at how handsome of a man I am. Now, you can sit there and say that's too much pretty to be on TV at once. How can people's screens handle it? How can people, they get so caught up in the emotions and the feelings of just seeing two perfect beings walking into the ring? Now, I get it. There's children watching, and you don't want, people to sit there and get too caught up and too flustered by the amazing things they're seeing on TV. But guess what? They got to grow up and see amazing things in their life at some point in time. And that's exactly what you're getting when you see Pollo Del Mar and the Thrillbilly Silas Mason.
Now, getting off of NWA for a bit, you wrestled Rob Killjoy, a very well-respected wrestler in the community. Can you tell us about that match and that experience?
I've known Rob for years, man. And no, we just had I showed up one time in Alabama, and they told us to get in there and do a wrestling match. And like I said, I like Rob, but I beat the tar out of him in that match. You sit there and Rob, I like the Ugly Ducklings, him and old Colby Carino and Lance. All those are good guys, man. But when it comes to getting in the ring, man, I want to win, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And Rob's a good dude, and a lot of people respect him, and I respect him. But at the end of the day, we're competitors, and we're trying to win. So anything that happened during the match, we're able to put it to the side. Now, if he wants to run it back, I'll gladly give him that opportunity. But whichever promotion it's going to be for is going to make sure they're going to have to pay the Thrillbilly a lot of money. And hell, pay Rob a lot of money too. Just make sure I'm getting a higher cut.
Oh yeah. So basically, friendship, whoever you're in the ring with, friendship aside, you're going for the W.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
It'd be disrespectful for them if I didn't try my absolute hardest. It'd be disrespectful to me if they didn't try their absolute hardest.
Right. Can you tell us about Kassius Koonz?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was some dude that was trying to steal my image and likeness out in Oregon, right? I think he quit the business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything or heard anything of him. Yeah, what's he been? Do you know anything he's been up to recently? Working at Jiffy Lube or something like that?
Really? Because
I don't know.
he did some interesting things. He was in the ring with Gangrel and Sinbodi. So,
Oh man, that really must have been pretty tough to be in the ring with them.
yeah, what would you think would be like to be in the ring with Gangrel and Sinbodi?
I don't particularly know what would a vampire that's been wrestling for 400 years. I mean, he's still pretty spry for his age, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he's an undead vampire that's been wrestling, and Sinbodi's kind of like there's that crazy cat. Now, I actually wrestled Sinbodi in Las Vegas for right. We did. It was Germany's Next Top Model, and they had us do a couple things in the ring, and we did a battle royal, met Heidi Klum, and then me and Sin had a match in there. That's where I know Sin from. I just thought he was one of them freak busters that came off the street, like one of those swaller and fire kind of guys. That's who he kind of reminds me of, It's one of those human dartboard or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a weird cat, man. I'll tell you that.
So, you mentioned, you're going to Australia with the NWA.
Mm-hmm.
What's your mindset, going overseas and, wrestling in a different country?
Well, I've been studying a lot of tape on their guys. I've been watching a lot of Bushwhackers back when they were the sheep herders. I've been watching a lot of Steve Irwin. Trying to get my crikey down good. Figuring out, I've been doing some boxing training in case I got to step in there with a kangaroo. Is it upside down? Is everything upside down there like everybody says?
No, but the
Like is the whole
flushed a different way.
Oh, good thing I don't use a toilet. I just go outside like God intended. Well, so I don't have to worry about that. That's a good thing. But yeah, no. So Australia, I've actually wrestled in Japan before. I don't know if there's any. I don't have any footage of it. I got a couple pictures of it online. So I've wrestled overseas, and I'm used to the thing that gets you the first couple days is the jet lag.
Right.
So whoever they're going to be setting up in the ring with me, those first couple days, that's their chance if they want to get it. But let me tell you, man, I've been training my body, mind, spirit, and soul just to be prepared for this. So hell, even the Thrillbilly at 80% is more than enough for 99.9% of the people on the planet. So you do that Steiner math.
Yeah, and
And how much Kurt Angle's chances at sacrifice? That's my question.
What? Oh my God! What was it? 1/3 of a chance, but because Scott Steiner was in there was 0 chance, or something like that.
Right, he's a 33 and a third chance normally, but because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat him, it's a 66.6% of a chance. But then he's twice the math. It's a lot of math, and the math checks out if you do the math. The guy went to Michigan for whatever that's worth. But no, I'm excited to go to Australia, man. I'm excited to eat a wombat. I'm excited to fight a koala bear and a kangaroo at the same time. And all those venomous critters and spiders, they ain't got nothing on the venom old Thrillbilly spitting.
If unfortunately Tracy Smothers could have probably gave you some pointers on that if he was still with us.
Oh, hey, R.I.P. Man, Tracy Smothers and Bobby Eaton are two guys I've never got to meet. But I'm real bummed out. Thanks for bringing it up, dude. Real bummed out that I didn't get to meet him. I did get to meet Dennis Condrey the other day. That's a cool story, I'll tell you. We're in Bristol, Tennessee, and we're doing the big thing because he's the lover boy, Dennis Condrey. It's their Valentine's show. It was a couple days after Valentine's, but hey, he's counting. And Loverboy Dennis Condrey accompanied me and old AJ Kazana to the ring, man. And let me tell you, that was a cool experience, man. Really, really thinking about the guys that have laid the way. And what they talk about in the NWA all the time, man, that legacy and that tradition. And a lot of these young cats, they're sitting there watching their Kenny Olivier's, and they're watching their pockets, sticking his hands down his pants like some kind of pervert, jingling his change on live TV for God and everybody to see. And that's who they think. And a lot of these kids are younger and stuff like that, but they don't know the history and the miles and the things these guys have done. Guys like Loverboy Dennis Condrey, Tracy Smothers, Bobby Eaton, a lot of these guys who have been around the place and done it whenever it was just going to these small towns, hundreds of miles every single night, wrestling 40 times a week, twice on Sundays, 3 times on Wednesday. And those are the kind of guys that, that's a cool experience getting to meet those guys and them sit there and say, damn, if only you were around back in the day, we could have made a lot of money with you. And I said, you're absolutely right, Dennis. You're absolutely right.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
And Dan Chaparral was there too, man. I haven't seen that cat since I used to live in Memphis.
oh, really? That's cool.
Hmm.
You mentioned working in Japan. What was that experience like?
It was a smaller promotion. It was I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was for this festival. What Dave Williams is the guy's. I don't know what he wrestles as anymore, but he got me there. Like I went just to visit, and then he said, "Hey, there's a wrestling show here at some festival." So it's kind of on the fly. I was just going because I like Japan and the culture there, and like a big history guy. So I had me and my girlfriend at the time went and visited, and yeah, I just kind of it was a lark. I brought my boots with me because you never know, but yeah, no, it was fun, man. I looked gigantic, which I already looked gigantic because I'm the biggest man that ever lived.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like dude, tower like the top rope came up to my hip, man.
Wow.
I stepped over the top rope. I was like, man, I'm stepping over this top rope like it's just a little lawn ornament or something like that. Just stepping right over it.
And
So that was pretty cool. Those rings are hard as hell, though. They're like boxing rings almost.
and I mean, it's
Not
incredible.
that I fell down on it too much, but
I mean, it's incredible. Even on vacation, you have the wrestler mentality of, well, I should bring my gear.
always. So whenever I was very first starting, man, I actually had my very first match in Salem, Oregon. So I'm from Tennessee, but I trained with the grappler Lynn Denton out there in Oregon for a time. And so one day I was living in Portland at the time. I had left my boots and my gear at the house, and they made me drive back an hour and a half to get it. And so I got there literally 5 minutes before my match. I'm putting my gear on as I'm driving down the road. It's not safe to do, kids. And the statute of limitations has gone out on that, so y'all can't get me for it anymore. But so I'm putting my gear on as I'm driving. I was like, I never want to feel this way again. So I've never forgotten my gear. I always bring it with me. And for any aspiring wrestlers listening to this, do not have it as a checked bag. Bring it with you on the plane. Your gear goes with you on the plane. Don't let it leave your sight because there's so many horror stories you hear about people checking their things, their bags getting lost, and then days later they finally get it back and they send it back to your house. They don't send it to where you're at. So bring it with you is all I'm going to say. Bring your gear. Wear it on the plane if you have to. If you can't afford getting you don't make the Billy Corgan money like I do, and you can't afford to have as many bags as you want with you, which they pay for it, but still I could afford it if I wanted to. You bring your gear with you. That's the bottom line. Free advice.
Oh. And you mentioned, and obviously you competed in Japan, but anybody that knows us knows we love food. What are you eating in Japan?
Oh man, there's this one lady that she's this little old lady, and she had her udon stand right outside the train station, like near the where the bullet trains are.
Yeah.
Every morning, man, I'd go there. I'd get me this big bowl of udon, and it'd have you get the raw egg, you crack it in there, and it cooks into the broth and all that stuff. You get this giant bowl of it and some little side dishes and stuff for like $5, man. You can't beat it. Then I'll tell you what I'm not a fan of is that takoyaki. Do you know what that is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's this little like ball thing. So they have these little semicircle deals that are heated up, and they get this batter and it has like fish and like squid and carrots and all that kind of stuff in it. And they roll it around and they cover it in soy sauce and mayonnaise. And man, it's just a texture thing, dude. That texture, I do not like it. It's like kind of crispy on the outside and gooey on the inside, but it's savory. It tastes like the texture feels like it should be something sweet, but it's not. And it throws me off, man. I do not like it.
I mean, I could
This
imagine.
one guy was staying at a hostel. He made some. I ate every single bit of it, but I hated it the whole time. I was just trying to be polite, you know.
No, I get it. Alright, but you got me hungry here with some udon.
Oh, udon, can't beat it, man. That and
Definitely.
the yakisoba noodles,
Oh
fried
yeah.
up noodles.
Mm.
Slap your mother. Well, don't do that. Be nice to your mama.
Yes. Alright, I think it's once again time for that segment. Silas Mason's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that grows up around the roads and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
It fits what description? I didn't hear that last part.
Could you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Of what? What's the description?
A bizarre event, a weird, crazy, bizarre, interesting, funny road story.
Bizarre. I'm not sure how to get around the legalities of it. Um, man, I'm trying to think. Honestly, dude, I don't really have too many crazy road stories, dude. Most of the guys, it's unfortunate, but I do not drink nor do drugs anymore, and or any less. Hey, got 'em. No, but so most of my road stories are boring, man. Oh, I'll tell you this fun story. Me and this guy, I will not name names, but we go. This is right before our big Kratos match, and we go. We're in Tampa Bay, Florida, and Tampa Bay has the largest amount of strip clubs in it for any city in the United States.
Yes.
Now, we go to this illustrious club known as the Castle. And the Castle is like a. Have you ever seen those? What the heck is it called? Uh, Now I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's like the vampire lady. They're all in like leather gear and they're shooting guns at people.
Uh,
They like fight the werewolves.
Vampire
Not
Diaries.
underground.
Uh,
Like a there's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Anyway, crazy goth vampire underworld. I think is what it's called.
Huh. Okay. Oh, can you hear me?
We go to this crazy vampire, and there's this lady in the corner, and she is just beating the tar out of people with these whips and stuff, right? And so I'm a pretty tough guy. I'm like, hey, how many licks do you think we could take before we give up? And he says, I don't know. Why don't we go try it out? And so before my match with Kratos, I got a video of it. I will not share it with you. It is a private video. But I'm sitting there, hands up on the Andrews cross, and this very attractive young lady is just beating the tar out of me with a whip, like one of those cat o' nine tails things. And so she's sitting there, and I think she's getting mad because I'm not reacting to it because I'm a pretty tough guy. I told her, I said, if you had a set of socket wrenches and was yelling at me at which size to pick out, it reminded me of when I was a kid and my dad. I don't know if that's a Freudian thing on my part or what. But so she's beating the crap out of me with this thing. I'm not reacting. And then she gets this thing, it's called a slam jack, right? And it's like a riding crop that has no little crop at the end. It's just a stick wrapped in leather. And she grabs that and she rears back and I turns around and I said, darling, I appreciate you, but I got a match tomorrow. And the guy I was with, he took maybe 2 licks from the whips and he called it a day. So that's a fun little story for y'all. Thrillbilly at some vampire sex club. The Castle is what it's called. Check it out if you're in town.
Alright. Can you tell us about...
But you didn't think the story was going in that direction, did you?
Well, we've had some interesting strip club stories on the show before.
Oh, yeah. Very similar business, us and those dancing girls.
Oh, yes. Can you tell us about singing karaoke in New Orleans?
Who told you about that?
His name may
You're,
have
you're digging deep.
somebody that maybe has an A or a J in their name.
Oh, that egg sucking dog. Man, I am the king of karaoke. I If you put a title on the line, me and anybody in karaoke, I am taking that title. I am the absolute best. Rebel Yell by Billy Idol is my number one hit song. Now, New Orleans has this, especially Bourbon Street, man. It's one of those things everybody's trying to get something out of you. Everybody's trying to hustle you for something. Well, I ain't paying money to sing. It's an honor for people to hear me sing. So they should be paying me, if anything. Well,
Definitely.
they ain't letting us up on. We were there for maybe 2 hours. They ain't letting us up on stage. AJ, he finally says, "Fine, fine, I'll do it," and he gives them $20. Lo and behold, 5 minutes later, I'm on stage. I guess the line wasn't that long. Anyway, I rocked the joint so much that they asked me to stay on stage and sing another song, which was Chop Suey by System of a Down. Which I love System of a Down. I just never sang it for karaoke. And brother, I'll tell you, I was more blown up after that than I was my matches. Because I get into it, man. I get real into it.
And it seems like some of the crowd got into it as well. No.
Oh, the crowd, they were, like I said, they should have paid me, brother. They should have paid me.
I mean, there was one
But
fan that
I
got.
guess I'm just a kind soul. I'm an entertainer at heart.
I mean, there was one fan that maybe got a little too excited. No.
Oh, I mean, hey, I can't help what their body makes them feel, man. I can't help what their heart's telling them. They get a little handsy, they get a little excited, but I know how to take care of myself in situations like that, and I know how to be taken care of in situations like that. If you know what I'm saying.
I mean, you're a taken man. No.
No, now I am. Now I am. As official, I am a taken man. I'm no longer on the market. So they tell all those hoochies all around the world that the Thrillbilly, I still got love for them, but I just can't show it in any physical kind of way.
Of course. And but why did you rip the back of AJ's pants?
I mean, have you seen the way that goof acts? Why wouldn't you?
Okay.
It's just fun. Terry Funk used to grab the back pockets of people's pants and rip them down. I guess that night I was just thinking about Terry Funk,
Okay.
like I do most nights.
I mean, there's another legend.
Some people have an angel on top of their Christmas tree. I have Terry Funk on top of mine.
That I didn't even know that they had cherry punk tree toppers.
Oh, you can make them.
Oh, cool. All right. Can you tell us about being on the news with AJ, Joe, and Kenzie Page?
Man, how bad would that news segment have been if it wasn't for me saving it at the end? Oh, I'm just burying Joe. But no, man, it was the highest rated segment behind murder. The only thing they've ever had on there that's higher rated than that's people. I was looking at the analytics of it when I was going through their YouTube, and I was like looking at the view counts or whatever. I was like, man, we did pretty good. So I got to a story about murder, and it was like 200,000 views. I was like, well, I guess we didn't do that good. So I guess outside of killing somebody, we just need to get people more excited. But man, yeah, that hell, I'll tell you, I can't get stopped. I get stopped at the grocery store, at the gym, everywhere. Like, man, weren't you on the news, man? Weren't you on the news? And a lot of people know me anyway, just because I'm one of those guys that I look like I do something. Like, hell, before I was even on the news, people would stop me and be like, man, I know you're a ball player. Man, I know you're a wrestler. Man, I know you do something special. So I've always been one of those guys. But the news is exciting. My dad's upset that Abby Ham and I did not go out on a date. And I asked her, but she said she was a married man. And I said, well, how much do you like your husband? I guess she likes him a little bit more than most. So that did not pan out. But, hey, things happen for a reason. Maybe she'll come around one day.
Yeah, and I mean, if she wants to have a match with Miss Del Mar, then for the love of Silas, then so be it.
Let's put it in the mud pit, man.
Joe, speaking of Joe Kazana Promotions, can you tell us about that time you confronted Gustavo in the shower?
Oh, well, see, Gustavo, man, here's the thing. He's this little punk that wants to run around, and he's a philanderer, a flatterer. He's one of those people that just hands out roses to every. Now, imagine this. Imagine you're taking your lady or your man or whoever your partner is out to a wrestling show, and this little goof hands them a flower, trying to steal the affection of them from you. And that's what people don't see when they see Gustavo, man. He's going out and he doesn't. He wants you to think you're the one and only. Instead, you're just the only one that he happened to see that night. And so I confronted him and I let him know that he may be doing all this stuff. He may be going around saying he's the champion of television. Guess what? We're on YouTube, pal. And he may be wanting to sell this, but I'm the Southern American heavyweight champion of the world for Joe Castana Promotions. And that's a pretty good looking belt. And I also had it on television, actual television. So I think Gustavo needs to give me his television title since I'm the actual champion of television.
Okay. Can you tell us what did come out of your elbow?
Man, you're really digging down deep in these, ain't you?
Yes.
I appreciate your journalistic integrity. So I had been filming a movie, and here's what the kicker is, man. They replaced this with CGI. They ended up not doing any of the stuff that we had rehearsed and recorded. It was all CGI. They just CGI'd it. I was like, son of a bitch. But yeah, sorry, you might have to do some bleeping in this one. But
do that.
no, so we're in the. I'm wearing it's a Sasquatch versus the Yeti, right?
Okay.
And so my tag team partner Devin Dixon, the dangerous one, he's the Yeti, and I was the Bigfoot. Well, you can't see anything in these costumes. It's hotter in Hades in that boxing gym that we did it in. They want me to elbow drop this heavy bag. Well, I could not see where I was dropping my elbow. I kind of had a general idea of it. So I go around, my elbow completely misses the heavy bag and just nails the concrete on the other side. And immediately my elbow swells up. A chip of bone had broken off of my elbow.
Oh my god.
And so, yeah, it's pretty rough, man. And so we filmed probably another 4 or 5 hours. After that, I'm picking people up, doing everything with it. And I'm not only dehydrated, completely dehydrated, but my elbow is just killing me, man. And so I have my first few matches with the NWA. I wrestled Trevor Murdoch, all with my elbow completely just shot. And so what I do is I have a friend who was in the military, right? And he was a field medic. Well, I ain't paying $30,000 just for them to go in there and cut it out when my buddy can. So what I do is I go over to his house. He sterilizes all the equipment, no painkillers, no pain medication, nothing. And he just cuts into the elbow. Well, he drains it first, cuts into the elbow, reaches in there with a pair of pliers, pulls out this chunk of bone that's probably the size of a nickel, cuts it off, sews me back up. Went to the clinic to get some antibiotics because I'm not that stupid. And yeah, so that was a pretty fun experience. But ain't nobody tough enough to do that. They'd be crying. The worst part, I'll tell you, is hearing the knife when it cuts into your skin, and you're knowing, like, oh, that's me. That's me he's cutting into. That was probably the worst part, was just the sound of the as it goes through you. Just hearing the tearing of flesh. Which when I hear someone else's flesh tearing, it's pretty cool. But when it happens to you, it's not so fun. But you just grin and bear it.
Between the match where you hurt your elbow and the Trevor Murdoch match, how long of a time span was that?
Probably about 6 weeks.
Oh wow! So you're going around for 6 weeks with, broken bone in your elbow.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was going around it was floating around in there. And what would happen is like anytime it'd get better, like a little bit, it always had like a little bit of fluid in it. But anytime it would start to get better, I got to wrestle. Those bills ain't paying themselves, man.
But
You can't pay the bills on exposure alone. And or I guess it depends on what kind of exposure. I don't know what your situation with your landlord is, but so basically, I just kept having to do these things, and yeah, it's about 6 weeks, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, "Buddy, you got to cut this thing out, man." And he was sitting there, and he was like, "If you had told me beforehand, I would have gotten my scalpels." And I said, "If I had told you beforehand, you wouldn't have done it." And he said, "You're right." So I was like, "Get that boning knife and get to work."
Alright. Definitely a fantastic story now.
I'm a storyteller.
And thank you. And going back to you singing karaoke and killing that, you was actually in a band, no?
I was. See, that's why me and Mr. Corrigan get along so well. We're both musicians. We understand the music business. I was played on the radio locally. I'm pretty sure that's like being in the Smashing Pumpkins.
I could imagine, yeah.
No, we weren't very good though, man. I was bass player and lead singer for Lead Knuckle and the Jizzy Jazz Junk Band.
Well, I mean, you have to have been good because obviously you're killing it at karaoke nowadays.
I was entertaining. You cannot say we were not entertaining, but in terms of our musical chops, we weren't necessarily at the same. I was a pretty good bass player, man. I gotta say, I was a pretty good bass player. But in terms of we were 16. It was like I was like 16 to 19 when I was in the band. So you can imagine what we were writing songs about. We weren't necessarily cocksmen like certain people are these days, myself included. So we were writing a lot of songs about those carnal, passionate feelings you feel at that age when those hormones are flowing through you. And I'll say probably the biggest musical influences on the band, if I had to describe it to people, would be Frank Zappa and the MC5.
Oh, okay.
So, kind of like punk, early garage rock with like some psychedelic weirdness thrown in there. Like I said, we weren't good enough musicians to really pull it off, but we had some hits and our shows were fun. So, hey, what more can you ask for?
Oh, absolutely. Can you tell us about running into Matt Taven in random places?
Oh no, that's my favorite thing. It's we're running into old Matty T, man. Yeah, he actually we hung out in Tampa because he lives down there now. I saw the house that Tony Khan bought for him. He has a shrine to Mike Bennett in his house.
Oh,
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, if you ever talk to him, ask him, say, "Hey, man, what's up with that shrine you got to Mike?" It's like weird pictures of him, like obviously they're tastefully done, but like just getting out of the shower and like him with his wife looks like it's taken from the bushes and stuff. I don't know about all that stuff, but yeah, he has a shrine to Matt Taven in his house and all the various and illustrious titles he's won throughout his career. Every wrestler at a certain point has a shrine to themselves built in their house.
oh, definitely. Well, maybe.
But no, I saw him at the DFW like twice. Saw him in Charlotte once. And I'm trying to think anywhere. Yeah, I just Matt. If I'm going to an airport, I'm looking for Matt Taven because I know he's going to be there. He's probably following me around. He might have a shrine to me built up next.
Oh, hey, you never know.
Yeah, maybe I'm the secret fourth member of the kingdom. Who knows?
Ooh, interesting. All right. Now I'm not sure what happened afterwards, but did you ever find a mechanic to help Billy Starks?
Billy Starks. Hell, no, I don't know where the hell they think I was in damn Knoxville. and they're in Chattanooga. That's like 2.5 hours away.
Well, I know Del Mar was
They
helping Billy find a mechanic for somebody in Knoxville.
no, they were in Chattanooga. It was Brogan Finley. He was broke down in Chattanooga,
Okay.
and it was a game of telephone or tele-Twitter or whatever you want to call it. And they're like, "Well, hell, you're close to him." I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm 2.5 hours away." So he was stuck in Chattanooga. I was like, "It's called Google, kids." And I don't know if it told Finley to send you PayPal you some money so you can afford a tow truck. That was my solution.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
What do you want me to do?
I mean, definitely not drive 2 hours because that doesn't sound like a good time.
No, what's he ever done for me? No, would they have done the same for me? I doubt it. Also, I know people. I'm hooked up in my local area, and also all over the country. Thrillbilly's for the people, man. The people love the Thrillbilly, so I'd have got some help, or at least talk my way into getting some help.
Well, can you tell?
Also, I know how to fix my own car, so there's that.
Which is a skill a wrestler definitely needs to have.
Or get AAA, man. That's the thing. It's $125 a year to get roadside assistance up to 100 miles being towed someplace. It's like, and some wrestlers are just, I don't need, dude, if you're going to be traveling the roads and stuff, fortunately, I get flown most places these days, but I still have AAA because, that Billy Corgan money can afford you to get a lot of cool stuff. And AAA is one of those cool things I can afford, but everybody can afford it. It's $125 a year. That's some more free advice for you. Get AAA.
All right. Can you tell us about your love of the Elden Rings?
Oh man, I just started playing another one. Dude, you said something about having gold mods earlier, and I was going to make a reference to having the Grace of Gold in there. I'm a big fantasy fan. I love the Lord of the Rings. I can do the entire Bridge of Cathel Dune speech, which I will not do because I don't want to tell people how much of a nerd I am. I can tell you all about it. I've read the Silmarillion, pal. I've seen the documents, but no, I love Elden Ring's dope, man. I got into a lot of the From Software Souls games when I was younger, but I just liked the lore and the story and the look of it. But I never got into playing it. But then I bought into that Elden Ring hype, man, and I played every single one of them. And like my girlfriend now, she's sitting there and she's like, she's trying to play it, and she's like, I do not understand what you like about this. I'm like, it teaches you perseverance. That's the thing it teaches you. It teaches you never give up. John Cena, hustle, loyalty, and respect. That's what it teaches you. You gotta hustle around the map, get your items, you gotta respect these enemies, and you gotta show loyalty to what got you there, which is, for me, hitting people with big sticks and swords.
I love how we brought it right back around to wrestling like that.
That's what everything is wrestling, man. Everything is.
But no, I know that a lot of those games are, like you said, a lot of hustle, and it requires a lot of time because some of those bosses are exactly what they're named, a boss.
Yeah, dude, it took me 3 weeks to beat the Nameless King on Dark Souls 3. But did I give up? No. Well, yeah, I did plenty of times, but I kept coming back to it because I would just get frustrated after a certain point. I was like, man, I need to set this game down for a second. I need to cool my jets and then come back to it with a clear mind. And then it was one day me and Devin always play NCAA together, so I'm not a complete nerd. I always tell people I'm a born again jock. Like I got into wrestling maybe 10 years ago, but it wasn't until like the last 4 years where I've really taking it seriously in terms of the athletics and stuff. Also, hell, I was a state champion wrestler. I've done jiu-jitsu. I've done judo. I'll give you $5 if you can name the jiu-jitsu school I go to, since you're so well informed on the life of old Silas Mason. Don't Google it.
I don't have that in front of me at this moment.
Okay. Memento Combat Sports. It's in Louisville, Tennessee. Joe Watson was trained by the illustrious Samuel Braga. But no, I tell people all the time that I'm a born again jock because man, I was a nerd. I took 4 years of Latin in high school.
You
So
so you speak Latin.
no, I just took 4 years of it, man. I wasted my time. I should have took Spanish. Make it easier to talk to pretty women like La Rosa Negra. She tries to teach me Spanish every time I see her, and I just butcher it. Apparently, my German pronunciation's pretty good, though. I think it's just because I got a big white boy tongue, so it just kind of like fits with the guttural sound of it. I can't make Spanish sound sexy like they do, you know?
I get that. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. Don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Oh man, you got to get on that, bro. Well, you can at least put it like they have a. I still don't know how the hell to pronounce it. It's Ybor City, Ybor in Tampa, but it's like a Spanish word, so I keep calling it Ybor City. And everyone's like, no, it's Ybor City. I still don't know if Ybor is the right way of pronouncing it, but I just can't figure it out. But I did take Latin, so if I can read Spanish, I can pretty much figure out what they're trying to say because a lot of it comes from Latin. It's a Romance language, so I can sit there and look at it and figure it out. But most of the time, I can't understand. I can't understand it at all. But I appreciate it.
Now, you said you played Dark Souls. How long
hmm
did it take you to die for the first time?
Oh, not long at all, man. It probably rolled off a cliff. What it is like I knew there was this Vihander, and that if you go past skeleton, like, this is a little trick for any strength players out there. If the skeletons, you just run past them, man. Because I kept dying, and there's this giant skeleton towards. So when you're going towards the catacombs, you have to run down the path, take the right hand side, go up past that big skeleton, and it's the second corpse has his Vihander on it, which is one of the dude. If you get that sword, you can beat the game with it. Just keep upgrading it.
Hmm.
But so yeah, I've died all the time in that game. But the thing is, like, there's people who do that on a soul level 1, like no level ups, no upgrades, no nothing, and they'll beat the whole game like that. I'm not that much of a masochist, so I will level myself up all the way. Do every side quest. I want to be as beefy and as bad as possible when I'm taking these guys on.
Yeah, I
Same thing in wrestling. I'm gonna be as beefy and as bad as possible when I'm taking them on. But I ain't rolling. I don't know. Maybe I should start doing that. Anytime someone tries to hit me, I'll just roll. Aggressively roll, dodge out of the way of everything. I'll have my little Estus flask. I'll drink it. It'll just be corn liquor. It'll be great. It'll be a hit. I'm sure that'd get over in some stupid indie.
I'm sure somebody's doing it as we speak.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, I know there's plenty of kids rolling around these days, but maybe that'll be the next Luigi Primo moment where they'll be like, oh, this guy rolls around like in Dark Souls and Elden Ring. We've got to hire him. God.
Alright. I think it's time for the colossal question. They're making a
Let's hear
movie.
it.
They're making a movie about you. It's going to be a big production. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Silas Mason movie soundtrack?
Well, as an homage to one of my favorite movies, Heavy Metal, we'd have to have Heavy Metal by Sammy Hagar in there at some point.
Okay, sweet.
Maybe in the very beginning of it, you know, want it, heavy metal, how will out tonight, want it, get some of that in there just to really get the vibe. I'd say Regulator by Clutch.
Okay.
You put Regulator by Clutch in there. Oh, I see that lantern. Maybe when I'm like, getting ready for a big thing, have that song in there. And then, I love music, man. I'm a big music guy, and this is a huge, colossal question for me because there's so many good songs to put in there. Oh man, let's get a little spicy scene in there and put "Dirty Love" by Frank Zappa in there. Give me your dirty love, like you might surrender to some dragon in your dreams. When me and Pollo first meet, that's what it is.
Awesome. And I mean, the way you're singing these songs, maybe you could maybe do a cover of the song for the movie.
I could do the Val Kilmer thing and learn how to sing all these songs myself.
Yeah.
Also, I am an actor now.
Yes.
You know that, right? I'm in the Iron Claw movie. I'm not entirely sure how much I can say, but I'm playing Terry Gordy. And I guess that's all I can say about it because that's what I'm doing in it. I've already done it.
Wasn't you in Cocaine Bear too?
Yeah, I was the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they CGI'd me out of it again.
Yeah.
We went to the premiere, and I was like, dude, you had me dress up in this bear costume. You had me roll around. You had me do all this cocaine. That's the movie business, though. You know, man, it's cheaper for them to get the CGI. I'll tell you why these CGIs are so cheap is because they didn't get to unionize.
Yes.
All these other things in SAG are union, and you actually get paid well for what you're doing. And they screw over these CGI artists because there were a bunch of libertarians in the early 90s who didn't unionize because they didn't think they need to. Now look at where they are. Unions protect you against people exploiting you, folks. Just remember that.
All right. So now we got the soundtrack down. Who plays Silas? And you can't say yourself because you're obligated to make a Stanley as cameo.
Man, all the actors, by the time they make a movie, all my favorite actors are going to be dead.
I mean,
But in his prime, let's get Samuel L. Jackson to play me.
Awesome. All right.
From Pulp Fiction. Him or John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly might make a better visual of me, but that attitude that Samuel Jackson has is what I want in that movie. I want to do it like the Weird Al movie, where none of it's true. None of the stories are true, or at least you can't tell the truth from the fiction. Have you ever seen Walk Hard with Dewey Cox?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be like that.
Okay. Now every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be the 3 people in your movie, and who would play them?
All right, we get Dangerous Devin Dixon is going to be played by Jason Momoa,
Okay.
but we'd have to make him. I don't know what because Devin's not Pacific Islander; he's Native American. We'll just fudge it around a little bit, just have Jason Momoa play it. We'll just keep it real ambiguous as to exactly what nationality he is, and then let's see. I'm going to take AJ out of it just because I know it'll get in his craw if he's not in the movie. We'll get Scarlett Johansson to play Pollo.
Awesome.
Billy Corgan's obviously going to be in there as a cameo for himself. And let's see. No. Cutthroat Cody Croft, the guy that trained me out in Las Vegas. Billy Corgan is playing him because they're both bald. Billy's going to have to get his wrestling and his acting chops up.
But wait a minute. Who plays Billy then?
Billy.
Oh, so he's doing 2 roles.
Yeah, we're going to CGI it in there to where he gets to meet himself.
Awesome.
It'll be like, have you ever seen Doctor Strangelove, where that one, it's like Pete Sellers plays 4 different people in the movie? We'll put Billy to work.
All right.
I'm like, now you know how I feel running around doing all these pre-tapes and all these other promotional things for you. Now you're going to be the one running around.
Just so you're aware, you will be playing AJ Kazana in his movie and Anthony Andrews' movie as AJ Kazana as well. So you have a reoccurring.
Oh my God! They wish they looked as good as me. That's going to be a real good. They're going to be like, man, you know how you always see the movies where it's like, man, they made them a lot prettier in this movie than they were in real life because there were some goofy looking dudes in real life. That's not what people would say if I was playing them.
Hey, I'm just telling you who they.
I need to shave the front of my hair too, just to like thin out the top. Have to put a bald cap on me.
All right. Um, now on to now that we have everything set up, it sounds like a fantastic movie, and you could pre-order the tickets now.
There you go.
Now on to a controversial subject: pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
It's fine. It's fine. Sweet and savory. It's tang. Yeah. People who so I was also in a past life. I was a chef in Alaska and a bunch of other places. So I'm a cook. That's what I did before I wrestled and stuff. So people crying about pineapple on pizza, grow up.
All right.
That's all I gotta say about that.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
A spirit Pokemon, man. I guess I'm a champ because I'm the champ. I'm jacked. I got 4 arms, dude.
Sweet.
Yeah, fighting type.
Like you.
Now, if I pick my starting Pokemon though, because I'm old, so I played the first two where I was into it. The first 2 generations. My favorite starter was for alligator, Totodile, water type. I'm a water type guy all the way. People expect me to be a fire type, but no, I'm always water.
Oh, I absolutely loved Totodile. He was fantastic.
He was great.
Yeah. Just the way he danced, and he was just so happy.
See, I don't remember him dancing because I just had the sprites. I had the Game Boy Color, and he doesn't dance in it. I mean, on Pokemon Stadium on N64 he did, or Pokemon CN2 or whatever, but yeah, that's just because I'm old, and gray.
And as you already know, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show.
Mm.
Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
T is for trouble. H, I always get H wrong. U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a thug can't spell.
Well, you got half of it.
I never get H. Horrible. T is for trouble, H is for horrible, U is for ugly, G is for jail, and the thug can't spell. Yeah, something like that.
Well, you got half of it right. T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail.
Well, hey, it's not a passing grade, but points for effort, right? I did the extra credit.
Oh, definitely. But again, we love Tracy, trying to keep the memory alive.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview. Hopefully, would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual Rock.
I'm pretty sure I've wrestled people worse than Rock, so yeah.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match, an Arm Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
Well, good for him. I hope he got paid well for it.
I think he did it for free.
Huh. Sounds like the kind of guy that would.
And he didn't win. He didn't beat The Rock either. So.
The problem with the Rock guy is he sandbags you on everything. And he's always stiff out there. I tell the guys to loosen up. Now he's good at going slow because when you're supposed to slow it down, you just keep. You think you're going too slow, slow it down. But he does good at that. Doesn't listen worth anything. I've heard about this guy.
Oh, definitely. Maybe from Anthony. I did send him the match.
Oh God, I'll get his opinion on it, and he'll be like, "He was a better worker than me." I said, "Anthony, we already knew that." That was the hardest thing they had me do is cheer for them. I'm just kidding. Anyway, what were you saying, buddy?
I was gonna say on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I've paid off my mother's house. I have won and defended the NWA World Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom. and I'm going on to a career in my life where I can start. I've accumulated the gravitas to start my own training school. I'm going to treat it like a dojo. I'm going to use the money that Billy Corgan and a lot of other people have given me, and I will invest it into a business that will make me money outside of wrestling.
That's awesome. Training the next
That's the
generation.
goal. Because the thing is, man, as fun as this is, the ride always ends at some point. You know, you got to set yourself up for when that day comes. Because the one person in this world besides the Thrillbilly that's undefeated is Father Time, man. You ain't gonna see me out here when I'm 60, when I can't go anymore. And I look like AJ Kazana, doddering out to the ring. You know, I couldn't live with myself. So the goal is to accumulate as much of the gravitas and as much of the respect and the money, more importantly, to just do whatever the hell I want, man. And mainly pay off my mom's house. That's the goal, man.
And I mean, that's a great goal to have.
Oh yeah, it's bigger than me, man. This whole wrestling thing is bigger than me. And I'm the biggest man who ever lived. So tell me that.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what the Thrillbilly is all about?
Man, you do need to go check out that match with Davey Richards, NWA 74. Honestly, man, check out had a really good match at Hard Times 3 with Odinson. It was, the situation that we were all put in with a certain person leaving the company. They put the match together very quickly, and it was a hell of a match. Check out the Hard Times 3 match with Odinson and the 74 match with Davey Richards.
Could we find those on YouTube?
I believe that no, that's when we were still on Fight. So you have to go back to the old Fight archives and check it out. Get the Fight Pass. That way you don't have to pay so much.
Is there a match that we could find on YouTube?
A match you can find on YouTube. Check out Thrillbilly Silas Mason versus Logan Creed at Southern Honor Wrestling. We break the ring.
Okay. And I will find that match and I will put it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Oh yeah, it's exciting.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Let's do it.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm always ready, baby. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Terry Funk.
Worst wrestler.
That's a trick question. There's a lot of worse wrestlers that you'll never hear of. I'm going to go out of my way to piss people off. Orange Cassidy.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Roman Reigns.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Anyone else's entrance music, or do I get to choose which song it is?
I mean, if you just want to pick up, a regular song, you can.
Well, I mean, I always loved Mick Foley's entrance music with the car crash. So for people like that, I want to say that. And if these guys, if I can get a hold of it, I might be coming out to another song that's pretty dope. Saw is the Law by Whitechapel.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah. They're from my hometown.
Oh, awesome. So some local boys.
Yeah. Oh, some local metal boys. It's fun. All right, let's keep going.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Fake.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Heard.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
It's a fruit.
That is correct.
It definitionally is a fruit.
Tomato logic.
I mean, no, they literally are fruits.
Yes.
There's no. That's just what it is. So are cucumbers. Cucumbers are fruits.
Oh my God, we can't have more of this debate.
It's the truth of what it is. The seed is on the inside of it. It is a fruit.
Yes. You try telling that to some people.
Strawberry, not a fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Alright, New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
For him or for me? Because I got a pretty good tuchus nowadays, but old Pollo doesn't want me showing it off too much.
Just in general.
What would the ratio be? 3 to. That's a. Yeah, get like a nice little cup of the butt cheek out there. Get those like under. You know how they got under boob?
Yeah.
Get a nice like under butt going. You know, it doesn't matter what we wear. Just tell the girls not to stare.
Okay. You can, the merchandise isn't for sale.
Right, you can look, but you can't touch.
Alright. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you
8
ever
inches.
Huh?
Huh?
What did you say?
8 inches. But anyway, go on.
Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No. No, they don't know who Darby Allin is.
And that is the correct answer.
No. They ask about me. Every stranger in the supermarket's like, man, I know you're famous. Man, look at you. They saw this little, I don't have anything personally against Darby, but, who are they going to talk about if they're walking in the supermarket? If we're walking right next to each other, who are they stopping?
I mean, I mean, they could say, "Hey, are you going to beat up Darby Allin one day?" But other than that, yeah, I can understand your point.
You know, you see what I'm saying? I'm 6'6", near 300 pounds. I'm jacked. I'm tan as hell. Yeah, they stop me or they'll stop. Oh no, wait. They might stop him and be like, Are your parents somewhere around here? Did you get lost? Or they're gonna think he's one of those kids skateboarding outside, smoking and throwing cigarette butts on the ground. Like I knew it was you, you little bastard. You were throwing those cigarette butts on the ground. I seen you.
All right, and that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much, Silas, for coming on and doing this with me.
James, I appreciate you, brother. It's been a pleasure. The time has flown by.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find all things Drill Billy on social media?
All right. You got to check out at Thrillbilly TCB for my Instagram and my Twitter. I forgot this earlier. I'm starting the TikTok thing. Cardona told me to do it, so I guess I got to do it. Thrillbilly TCB 69 on TikTok. I don't have a ton of stuff out there yet, but I'm figuring it out. And then you can find my t-shirts and all my merchandise and my various sundries at angrylemonade.net. That is angrylemonade.net. And of course, you can see the biggest man in the world, the greatest man who ever lived, the Thrillbilly Silas Mason on NWA YouTube, Daddy.
At 6:05.
6:05. Hey, also 12 p.m. Saturday. And whenever we got pay-per-views, I'll be on there too. They gave me a contract. To be an idiot not to have me on every single pay-per-view.
Oh, absolutely. They're just throwing money away. They don't have Silas on the.
I got a guarantee, baby. I don't got to worry about it.
You mentioned TikTok. Are you doing the Wednesday Adam dance yet?
I don't even know what that is, but I got to figure it out.
Okay, fair enough. And you don't have to draw it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
I appreciate you, James. You're the best.
And of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And follow us on Twitter at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. And you can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, Silas, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Heard.
For the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.